We are live another Tuesday night BBQ Pit UFC preview. UFC Austin this weekend. Calvin Kattar versus Josh Emmett in the main event. Let's jump right into it. Kattar, this will be his fourth straight main event, UFC main event. He went 2-0 in his three previous main events. All three fights ending in a decision. He is 23-5 as a professional, 11 knockout wins and 0 knockout losses. He is 7-3 in the UFC, with his only losses being to Renato Moicano, Zabit Magomed Sharipov, and Max Holloway, the former featherweight champion. He won his most recent fight with a decision over Giga Chikadze in January, and he's coming into this fight with Josh Emmett with a 5-inch height and a 2-inch reach advantage. Josh Emmett, 17-2 as a professional, currently on a 4-fight winning streak right now. His 4-fight winning streak includes knockouts over Michael Johnson and Mirsad Bektik, and then decisions over Shane Burgos and Danny Ige. He's got 6 wins via knockout, 9 wins via decision. He's never been submitted. He's only been knocked out once. That was by Jeremy Stevens. He's got good kickboxing, and he's a former NAIA wrestler. And he's got a decent wrestling background, power, big-time power in his kickboxing. But he's going up against a really, really, really good boxer in Calvin Kattar. Rob Font, Calvin Kattar, all those guys doing the cartel are really, really good boxers. And Kattar goes to war, man. Josh Emmett has folded in a lot of scenarios where he is is where it matters. He's in the main event. He talked a lot of shit to Justin Gaethje. Never mind. James Vick. I'm getting James Vick and Josh Emmett mixed up. My bad. But either way, Josh Emmett, he just the Jeremy Stevens fight, which I think kind of was fucked up on the way that ended. But other than that, Josh Emmett has shown that he's a great kickboxer, and I completely got him confused with James Vick there. But he showed that he's a great kickboxer. He's got good leg kicks, and he's got power in his hands. I don't think that's going to be enough for Calvin Kattar's boxing. So I'm going to go Calvin Kattar via TKO, giving Josh Emmett his second knockout loss. Co-main event, Kevin Holland versus Tim Means. Kevin Holland 1-0 since returning to welterweight. He got a TKO win over Alex Oliveira at UFC 272. He's 22-7-1 with 13 wins via knockout and no knockout losses. He's 4-5 by decision, and most of his losses are to wrestlers: Derek Brunson, Marvin Vettori, Brandon Allen. He's had a really big trouble with dominant wrestlers. I wouldn't even say grapplers either, because Alex Oliveira is a really good jiu-jitsu practitioner. But Kevin Holland's a black belt in jiu-jitsu under Travis Luter, and he's also a second-degree black belt in Kung Fu. I don't think he has trouble with the jiu-jitsu guys, with the guys that don't have the top pressure, and all they really have is the leg locks and the arm bars and the trying to transition to chokes and shit like that. I think he's got really good defense when it comes to that. And if you can't hold him down and make him tired, he's going to get back up and he's going to fuck you up. He's got a 1-inch height and an 8-inch reach advantage over Tim Means. Tim Means, 32-12-1-1. So 46 professional fights to Kevin Holland's 30 professional fights. Tim Means currently on a 3-fight winning streak right now, winning a decision over Luriano Starpoli, Mike Perry, and Nicholas Dalby in his last 3 fights. Over a year since his last fight, though, and he is 38 years old. So he's had a little bit of time off. He's getting up there in age. He's got 19 wins via knockout, 8-5 by decision. He likes to brawl. Definitely not as good on the ground as Kevin Holland. I think this one pretty easily goes to Kevin Holland. They're going to stand for the majority of the fight. Tim Means is a badass. He's a tough guy. He can take a lot of damage. I don't think that's going to matter, man. I think even if it goes to a decision, Kevin Holland's going to beat him up so much, he's going to win the decision. Even if it's not enough to finish Tim Means, he's just going to win a decision. That's going to be what it is. Tim Means is going to be a bloody fucking mess at the end of it. Speaking of Kevin Holland, Joaquin Buckley, Albert Duraev is the next fight up. We're going to preview here. Buckley 14-4, Duraev 15-3. Duraev won his contract on the UFC. He won his UFC debut at UFC 267 with a decision win over Roman Kopylov. 9 out of 15 of his wins via submission. All 3 of his losses are via knockout. He's strong, really strong guy, good grappler, heavy hands. Doesn't have the best striking defense, but is way taller than Buckley and gives up a little bit of a reach advantage. So it's a little weird how Buckley's got way longer arms and legs, but Durev is way taller than Joaquin Buckley. Buckley, 2 losses in his UFC. He's 4-2 in the UFC. 2 losses include Kevin Holland in his UFC debut, and then a knockout loss over Alessio De Chirico last year. Since that loss to De Chirico, he's on a 2-fight win streak with a knockout over Antonio Arroyo and then a split decision win over Abdul Razak Al Hassan. 3 out of 4 of his fights in the UFC that are wins are by knockout, and 10 out of his 14 overall professional mixed martial artist wins are also via knockout. 3 of his 4 losses, you guessed it, by knockout. He's won knockout of the year in 2020 for a spin kick knockout over Impa Kazanagi. You hear it, knockout. Buckley is a brawler. He's got crazy power in his strikes. Durev, I know he's also got power. I know he's got somewhat of a really, really good grappling game, but his striking defense is suspect, man. I think if Buckley can get past his guard and land some big shots, it's going to be a quick night. Joaquin Buckley via knockout, and he is plus 175 underdog. So if you're in Vegas or somewhere that's not fucking here, where it's illegal to do anything fun, put some money on Joaquin Buckley this weekend. Julian Marquez versus Gregory Rodriguez, the last fight that I previewed. I left out 2 main card fights. I'll get to why in a second. Marquez, purple belt in jiu-jitsu under James Krause, 9-2, 100% finish rate, 6 knockouts, 3 submissions. Never been finished in his professional career. 3-1 in the UFC, with his only loss being a split decision loss to Alessio De Chirico. He's on a 2-fight win streak right now with submission wins over Makai Pitolo and Sam Alvey. He's got a knockout win over Phil Hawes at Dana White's Contender Series in 2017. That would earn him his contract. And all 3 of his UFC wins are via submission, with the third one being against Darren Stewart early in his UFC career. He's going up against Gregory Rodriguez, who comes in with a 1-inch height, 3-inch reach advantage over Julian Marquez. Rodriguez is also a black belt in jiu-jitsu, 11-4 as a pro, with 5 wins via knockout and 4 wins via submission. He's never been submitted in his professional career, but he has been knocked out in 2 out of 4 of his losses. He's 2-1 in the UFC, losing his last fight via split decision to Arman Petrosyan. And he has a knockout win over Junyon Park and a unanimous decision win over Dusko Torodovic. So both guys, really heavy hands, great kicks with Julian Marquez. Good grappling for both guys, but black belt versus purple belt is pretty easy to see here for me. Gregory Rodriguez takes the all-around fight. He takes it on the ground. They stand him back up. He's going to take it standing up. So Gregory Rodriguez for me. I think they call him RoboCop or something like that. Badass nickname. Donald Cerrone, Joe Lozon also supposed to be on the main card. Possibly co-main event, I think I might have seen. I didn't preview it because we previewed it a few weeks ago. It got canceled after we previewed it, and it got moved to this card. I'm going to pick Donald Cerrone pretty easily against Joe Lozon. And then another one that's supposedly going to be on the main card is Damir Azmagulov versus Guram Kudalatse. And that's going to be an exciting fight. I normally do about 4 or 5 previews, and just didn't feel like doing that one. Also on the prelims, Adrian Yanez versus Tony Kelly. Jasmine Jezidovicius will be taking on Natalia Silva. Court McGee will be taking on Jeremiah Wells. Ricardo Ramos will be taking on Danny Chavez. Maria Oliveira will be fighting Gloria De Paula. Eddie Wineland making his return against Cody Stanman. Phil Hawes, we talked about him a little bit earlier. He'll be taking on the wrestling phenom Deron Wynn. And then Kyle Dawkins, how have the mighty fallen? Kyle Dawkins went from fighting Kevin Holland in that fight where he was doing really well in that fight, ending in a accidental headbutt that ended the fight. Now fights as the opening fight on the card that Kevin Holland is either the featured bout or the co-main event bout against Roman Delatse. So serious step down for Kyle Dawkins. He is a big favorite in this card, but if I'm Kyle Dawkins, I win that fight and I get on the mic immediately and I call out the matchmakers, I call out Dana, I call out anybody that will listen, because that is just straight up disrespectful to do to Kyle Dawkins. I'm not a big fan of Kyle Dawkins in any means, but to do what you did against Kevin Holland, regardless of how the fight ended, and then to fight on the same card as him, just way further down, is fucking insane to me, but it is what it is. I always say I want to have this pulled up, and I never have it pulled up. Except for last week. I did pretty good last week. I had it pulled up before the thing. Everything had it sitting here. Let's see, scheduled events. So this weekend, we have Emmett versus Cater. Next weekend, we'll be returning to the UFC Apex. That's a weird card. June 25th, Arman Saryukian versus Matus Gamrat will be the main event. Chris Curtis versus Rodolfo Vieira also on the card. Let's see if they got a main event. Neil Magny, Shukbat, Rachmanov. Mike could be either a co-main event or a main event. I think very possible that's main event. JP Buys taking on Cody Durden. Aren't we all lucky that JP Buys is not fighting this weekend? They got him 1 week apart from Roman Delatze. Sue. Anyway, see you next Tuesday. We'll be back for this. Might be here on the YouTube channel. Might be audio only on SoundCloud or Podbean. Either way, we might stream both. We'll see. Really depends. Make sure you check us out, the BBQ Pit Sports, the BBQ Pit MMA, the BBQ Pit NFL, the BBQ Pit NBA. The BBQ Pit then put something else, and it's going to be there. See you next time. Stay barbecued. You guys know what the fuck it is, Bo.